Every man in this country has been part of a brotherhood at some point in this life. It's if you're a veteran, it's a platoon, a unit, a team, a shift at a firehouse, a jiu-jitsu mat, a CrossFit gym, even fraternity counts. I'll give you that. Here's the part nobody tells you. That brotherhood was built for you. You did not construct it. You walked into it. The day you walked out of the military or that group, the day you EAS'd, the day, or ETS for the Army people, the day you retire, the day the season ends, the brotherhood does not follow you home. And almost no man in America has ever in his entire life intentionally built a brotherhood from scratch, which is why almost every man I talk to is dying of loneliness in a house full of freaking people. Let me strip away like the romance of MARSOC brotherhood for a second, because civilians get this wrong and some vets do too. It's not beer and high fives. It's not my best friends. Most of these guys on a Saturday off, I was not even at their house. Different personalities, different politics, different religion. In a civilian context, probably honestly would not have picked half of them as my friends. Some of them I would have, but not if we randomly met. We probably would not be friends. But what we had was something better than friendship. We had a shared mission. We had shared suffering and a zero option to fake it. So 3 things made MARSOC Brotherhood what it was. The Raider community, the recon community, whatever you want to call it. Write these down because they are the design spec for anything you build after. So 1, honestly, was not optional. It just wasn't. If I was slipping, somebody on my team was going to tell me face to face. Not behind my back, not in a freaking group chat, to my face, because my slipping could get them killed. 2 is accountability. We had real stakes. We did not say, I will work on my fitness this quarter. We said, we'll be on the tarmac at 0-5 with a full kit, or you don't go on, you're not executing, and then there's a whole big problem there. Your team relied on you. Like, you had to be there. Real consequences, no emotional negotiation. Number 3, and you see this in selection. This is the reason why selection processes are the way they are, is suffering was the bond. Shared suffering. We had to crawl through the same mud, held each other up through the same losses. There was no posturing because the posture had already been beaten out of all of us in selection. So it was honest, accountability, shared suffering. That's the spec. There you go. There's the rules. There's the rules. Here is what I did not understand on the way out. I thought I was leaving behind a job, a paycheck, a uniform. What I actually was leaving behind was the only environment I had ever been in that was designed to keep me honest, designed to keep me accountable, designed to keep me growing, designed to keep me from drifting. I walked out of the design straight into a vacuum. And so does everybody who gets out. Every cop who retires, every firefighter who hangs up his gear, every athlete whose career ends, every entrepreneur who sells their company, the vacuum is the same vacuum. We just call it different things. So watch what most men do when they leave Brotherhood. They start a group chat with the boys. The text memes start, shared videos, check in. It feels like Brotherhood. It feels like you're still in, but here's the test. Next time something real happens, your marriage falls apart, your business goes under, your kid gets a bad diagnosis, count how many of those guys call you. Go ahead, I'll wait. Not text, call. If the answer is 2 or fewer, you don't have a Brotherhood. You have a fucking contact list. Same thing on social media. You got 3,000 friends on Facebook. You got 50,000 followers on Instagram. You went to a veteran gathering last year. Everyone told you, you're the man. And then you drive home alone, pour a drink at 9 p.m., and there's not a single human being who knows what you're actually struggling with right now. Not one. Not your wife, because you don't want to dump it on her, right? Not your buddies, because you would rather lose a limb than look weak. That's not Brotherhood. That's performance. So without real Brotherhood, watch what happens to a man. He starts dumping everything on his wife. She becomes his only outlet. She signed up to be his wife, not his entire emotional support fucking animal. So she pulls back. And then he gets confused and then bitter. Or he isolates and he becomes the guy who shows up polite to the kid's birthday party and drives home alone and drinks himself to sleep. Ask me how I know. Or he medicates with booze, with porn, with work, with phone games, with food. Pick one. Most men can pick 3. I know I could. And about 6 years after I got back from Iraq, after I got out. So I was in a recce platoon before. I was at 2nd Force and then 3rd Recon. And then I went to MARSOC and then I got out. And I started seeing my dead teammates in groups of people on the side of the road. So there'd be a group of people standing there, and I would see guys like Gary Johnston, guys like Dustin Lee. And I would turn around and like break my neck or turn my truck around. I thought I was losing my mind. I finally called a buddy of mine, Tony. He was on my team, Tony Kano, in the recon days. And he kind of like, not to be like derogatory to me, but he kind of chuckled and he said, well, man, like, welcome to the fucking club, dude. Almost everyone from the platoon had issues for a long time. Substance abuse, divorce, homelessness, suicide, all of it. And I had been alone over this past year of getting out, thinking that I was like the only one. Brotherhood I needed had been one phone call away this whole time. I just not picked up the phone because I did not know it was like loud. I thought I was the only one, and I was like, dude, I'm supposed to be the dude. I'm the guy. And the reality is I'm not a special butterfly. I'm not a special butterfly. Like, everybody's going through the same things. And here's the brutal part. The cost of not having a brotherhood does not show up all at once. It's not going to hit you in the face like a sledgehammer. It bleeds you out over a decade. And by the time you notice, you're 45, divorced, 40 pounds heavier, your kids do not want to come visit, your business is stalled, and you cannot figure out where that guy was. Where's the warrior that you used to be went? And the reality is the man you used to be did not go anywhere. The structure that kept him sharp went somewhere, and you didn't replace it. So most of us walk around with this unspoken expectation that brotherhood is supposed to just appear. That if we're a good enough guy, the right men will show up at the door. That's not how it works. Brotherhood is built. It's engineered. It's recruited into your life with the same intentionality you would use to recruit a co-founder for a business. Most men have never sat down and said, who are the 4 men I want in my life for the next 20 years? And what am I going to do this month to deepen each one of those relationships? Most men have never written that list. You've never created a war council. You've never been intentionality about who your friends are. So here's the beautiful part. Because nobody handed you a team, you get to pick. When you were in the military, you got assigned a unit. You got the guys you got. Some were great, some were not. You didn't choose. Now you get to choose. You get to pick the men based on their morals, their values, their direction, their character. You get to say, who are the 4 millionaires I want to be the 5th of? Who are the 4 fit fathers I want to be the 5th of? Who are the 4 men of faith I want to be the 5th of? Your network is your net worth. It's not just about money. Your network is the bandwidth of the kind of man that you can become. So if you spend the most time with 4 broken men, you're going to be the 5th broken man. If you spend the most time with 4 men who are obsessed with growth, who hold the line on their wives and kids, and who are building something of value, you become the freaking 5th. So that's not motivational speak talk. That's not guru talk. That's just simple freaking math, and that's osmosis. It's just simple science, man. So I want to be honest with you. Why I built the Agoge? I did not build it because I had it figured out. I built it because I did not. I spent years to rebuild my life alone. I made some money. We built Johnny Slicks. I did a lot of things right on paper, and I still had nights where I sat alone in my office at 11 p.m., lights off, and realized I had nobody I could actually call. Not because I did not have people, because I never built any kind of relationships where I could pick up the phone at 11 p.m. and say, hey, man, I'm not okay. I realized I needed to build a brotherhood for myself on purpose with men who were heading in the same direction I was heading. And as soon as I started, I realized there were thousands of men in my audience who wanted and needed the same exact thing. So remember the 3 things from the Raider community that I was talking about. Honesty is not optional. Accountability with real stakes. Shared suffering is a bond. And the Agoge is built around all 3. Honesty is not optional in our calls. We do not allow just performance. We pull the mask off the first phase. We do not put it back on. Accountability has real stakes. There's curriculum you have to complete. There are quizzes that decide whether you move, advance in a phase. There are men who will tell you to your face when you're slipping. I'm one of them. You're standing in a brotherhood that is earned, not assumed. And it's because we care. True accountability is the ones that actually care about you. You're not being assholes. They care about you. And then shared suffering is built into it. Have to work through the muck, have to do the hard things, have to get up early, have to do all the things that make you great. The work is hard. The retreats are physical. The conversations are super uncomfortable. Most men have never sat in a room and had 4 other men tell them the truth about themselves in one sitting. And we do that on purpose because the bond is built on the other side of that conversation. The growth is built on the other side of that conversation. Everything that you want in your life is built on the other side of that conversation. The Agoge is 12 months, 4 phases. Phase 1 is master yourself, identity, mindset, discipline, brotherhood, and accountability, physical fitness, nutrition, all the things, the foundation. When shit goes sideways, it's the foundation that you need to deal with it. And phase 2 is leading your family, your marriage, your fatherhood, your communication, conflict alignment with your wife on the vision that you are building together. You cannot lead your family until you can lead yourself, which is the reason why phase 1 is all about you, your beliefs, your values, your systems. And phase 3 is mastering your financing and building generational wealth. Most men in this audience are making some decent money. They have no plan for what they're doing with it, or they're hand to mouth continuously, and they're not actually moving the needle. And you can't build generational wealth until you can lead your family, because your wife has to be on board with what you're doing financially. You can't get your wife on board until you can manage yourself and establish yourself as a leader and set some standards and some track record of you being the guy you say you actually are, not the guy you say you are, the guy who actually is through his actions and effort. And then phase 4, man, that's the money right there. This is the building legacy. This is when you're taking your family and creating more leaders. What are you constructing that outlasts your name for your kids, for your community, for your faith? 200 men capped, calls every week, a real community, real link ups in person, not this online AI shit, real stuff. The system's designed to give you back the thing that military gave you, or that community that you came from that gave you. That civilian life that takes away the moment you walk out the gate. So if you watch this video and a lot of it landed, here's where you decide. Door 1, you close the video, tell yourself, I'll figure it out on my own. And then 12 months from now, you're in the same spot or even worse. You've drifted even more. Different season, same man or worse. Door 2, you click the description and below and you book a fit call. 20 minutes, no sales pitch. We get on the phone, we figure out if the Agoge is right for you. It's not right for everybody. We know that. We're for a very select few. And either way, you walk away with that call with more clarity that you had than walking on. Not every man is a fit. That's why we call it a fit call. We're capped at 200 a year, and we're looking for the right man, not every man. If you want to look good naked and just have abs and that's it, not interested. The brotherhood you needed when you were 20, it was given to you. The brotherhood you need at 40, you have to build. And most men never build it. And that's why that most men end up alone in a house full of people. Do not be most men. Link is in the description. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate that. Remember to like it. Remember to drop me a comment. I want to respond to it. I'm actually the one responding to the comments. And if you like this video, you're going to absolutely love this one right here.